Hello students. So in the last lecture we have just learned about what is the necessity of constructing the buildings and the types of building based on their occupancy. Now in this today's lecture we are going to learn about the types of the buildings based on the structure. So the superstructure may be constructed using three different methods, that is load bearing structure, framed structure and composite structure. So this choice of the method depends upon the extent of construction, importance of construction, economy and the type of land. So for what purpose we are going to construct that building, for how much time it have to be live, what is the economy of the owner and what is the load carrying capacity of the land where we are going to construct that building. These all points we have to take into consideration while selecting the type of the structure. So first we will see the load bearing structure. It is a structure comprising of slab, beams and load-bearing walls. Such type of structures are mostly suited where hard strata of the soil is available at shallower depth. So, these load-bearing structures, these are the structures in which the slabs and beams are rested on the load-bearing walls, and these load-bearing walls are transferring the load on the subsoil or the strata below. This type of construction, it is generally carried out over the hard strata where the depth of the hard strata is low. So at that places we are able to construct the load-bearing structures. In this type of structures, the load from the slab or roof and floors are transmitted through the walls to the subsoil below the ground through their foundations. So, as shown in the figure, the load coming from the floors and the roofs, this is transferred through the wall on the foundations on the subsoils. The brick foundations needs a larger foundation area with respect to the RCC framed structure because load bearing capacity of brick is much less than that of RCC. Most of the residential buildings are small in size and are up to 3 stories are constructed as a load bearing structures. Now we will see the advantages and disadvantages of this type of construction. Advantages: it has a thick brick wall, gives more weather resistance and noise protection. So these types of constructions are having a large thickness brick walls, and because of that we are getting a more weather resistance, also the noise protection. Then it is a good and cheap for the less than 2 floored construction because bricks are cheaper. So as compared to other type of structure, the load bearing structures can be constructed at low cost up to the 2 floor. So as the bricks are cheap compared with the RCC construction, so it is a less costly. Disadvantages are it loses the carpet area due to the more thickness of the wall. As the walls are transferring the load to the subsoil strata, so because of that the thickness of wall increases, and as the thickness of wall increases the carpet area gets reduces. A second disadvantage is that the labor work is increased and the material like brick is also required in the quantity. So The RCC work can done at the faster rate compared to the brick wall construction. So because of this, as we are using all the bricks in the walls, the quantity of brick required and also the labor work is large compared to other type of structures. When the wall collapse in any situation, then whole structure will collapse. It means the whole structure is resting on the walls, all the loads are transferred through the walls, and because of that, if there is any failure in the wall, then the whole structure will be collapsed. The load bearing structure is bad at earthquake resistance, as the shock waves produce irregular tension and compression in the column. The tension is bared greatly by the steel of RCC, which is absent in the load bearing structure. So it means this type of construction, that is the load bearing structure, these are weak at the earthquake resistance because the shock waves produce a larger amount of tension, and in the RCC construction it is carried out by the steel present in the concrete. But in the load bearing structure the steel is absent, so that's why this tension is not carried by the structure and the whole structure may be collapsed in the case of earthquake. So these are the some advantages and disadvantages of load bearing structures. Now we will move towards the framed structure. It is a structure comprising of slab resting on the beams, and the beams are supported by the network of columns. So in this type of structure or in this type of construction, the load is transferred from the slab to the beam, from the beam to the column, and from the column it is transferred to the foundations and footings, and then from foundations and footings it is transferred to the substrata. So the framed structures can be of concrete, steel or of wood. So in the case of construction of this type of structure, we can use the concrete, steel and wood. Loads from the slabs are transferred to the beams, and the beams rest over the column, and the whole load of the structure is transferred to the subsoil below the ground through the columns and their footings. Here, walls just act like the partitions, and none of them bears a load. The RCC is the most suitable material to withstand the external loads like compressive, tensile, torsion and shear along with the movement. So all framed structures are constructed with the help of RCC. Generally, all multi-storied buildings or the high-rising buildings are constructed as the framed structure. So, as shown in the figure, the load coming from the floors or the slabs, it is transferred over the beam, then that load it is transferred on the column, then that load it is transferred on the footings or foundations, and then this footing or the foundation transfers the load on the subsoil or the substrata. So in this type of construction, walls are not carrying any type of load, they will just act as a partitions in the structure. So in this type of construction, the RCC is the most suitable material because the reinforced cement concrete, that is RCC, is able to carry every type of load, that is compressive, tensile, torsion, shear and moment. So that's why every framed structure it is constructed with the use of RCC material, and the framed structures are generally suitable where we are going to construct a multi-storied buildings or high-rising buildings. Then we will see the advantages and disadvantages of this type of construction. Advantages. The first advantage is it is flexible and they have good results in the earthquake. As I earlier told that in the RCC structure steel is present which is able to carry the tensile load coming in the earthquake. So this type of construction, that is framed structures, are suitable or flexible in the case of earthquake. Second advantage is the cost reduction due to the thinner walls. As the walls are not carrying any type of load in the structure, so the thickness of wall gets reduces. As the thickness of wall reduces, the material required for the construction of wall that also gets reduces, and it will decrease the cost of construction. Next advantage, it is the speed of the construction. As there is a small labor work, as RCC is there, we can use the ready mix concrete for the construction, and because of that no larger tie is required in the construction. So the construction can be done at the speed. Next, it can add more floors. As I earlier told that the framed structures are used in the case of multi-storied buildings, and the carpet area is almost same. That what we are going to design on the plan, that carpet area we can achieve in the construction as the thickness of wall is less. The only one disadvantage is there, that is the disadvantages lies in between different type of framed structure such as concrete structure, steel structure and wood structure. Now the next, that is the composite structure. The structure constructed with combination of both load bearing as well as framed structure is called as composite structure. In this type of structure, the external walls are treated as load bearing walls and the intermediate supports are in the form of RCC column. Here, the load of the slab is transmitted to the subsoil below the ground by load bearing walls and columns through the foundations. Composite structures are preferred for the buildings having large spans such as workshops, halls, large factory sheds, godowns, etc. They have been very remarkable for huge or the tall buildings around the world. So this type of composite structures, these are the combinations of both, that is framed structure as well as the load bearing structures. So in this type of construction, the external walls are acting as the load bearing walls and the internal walls or the internal portion, it is constructed as a framed structure. This type of construction, it is generally used for the large span buildings or the large buildings such as workshop, halls, large factory sheds, etc. So, in this today's video, we are just learning the type of the structures, that is load bearing structures, framed structures and composite structures. So, I will just summarize our today's session, that is in the load bearing structure, the load, it is carried out by the walls to the subsoil or the foundations. In the framed structure, that load coming from the roofs, floors, it is transferred on the beams. Then beam transfers the load towards the column. Column transfers the load towards the footing, and these footings or foundation transfers the load to the subsoil or strata. And the third type of construction, it is composite construction. In this type of construction we are having combination of both, that is load bearing and the framed structure. So in the today's video we have learned about the type of structures based on the construction. Thank you.